The playoffs are here, and in a few short months, there will be rings. So today I want to talk about the craziest players who have a chance to win a ring this NFL postseason. One from every team. We'll start in Detroit with Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater hasn't played a meaningful NFL season since 2021. That is, if you want to count a 7-7 stint with the Denver Broncos as meaningful. In 2002, he backed up Tua in Miami, and in 2003, Goff in Detroit. After the 2023 NFL season, he retired to go coach at his alma mater, Miami Northwestern High School. In his first year of coaching, he led the Bulls to a 41-0 state championship victory. I guess Teddy liked the feeling of being a champion, because the day after Christmas in 2024, Bridgewater came out of retirement to rejoin the Super Bowl favorite Detroit Lions. 2 championships in 2.5 months would be pretty crazy. For the Rams, we have Stetson Bennett. While Stetson Bennett wouldn't be the first QB to win the college football national championship and the Super Bowl, he'd be the first to win both in a 3-year span. I think. I didn't technically fact check that, but it sounds reasonable. I should say win. Provided Matthew Stafford stays healthy, Bennett will get a ring, but he may not earn one. Speaking of college football champions, for the Chargers we have Jim Harbaugh. Harbaugh would be the first coach to win a national championship at the collegiate level and then turn around and win one the following year at the pro level. But don't worry, as soon as any allegations come out about his time with the Chargers, he'll jump ship and head to another league. For Pittsburgh, we have Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. I know, I'm cheating here a little bit with a double dip, but last year if I told you these two guys would be on the same team to start 2024, you'd call me crazy. You definitely wouldn't believe me if I told you they went on to win a Super Bowl. Fields led the team to a 4-2 start while Wilson nursed an injury. Tomlin ultimately decided that Russell Wilson was the guy and has been riding with him ever since. They have a big first game against a division rival and a long way until the Super Bowl. Speaking of Baltimore, I guess Nelson Agholor? Agholor has been in the league for 10 years, but has only gone over 500 yards in 3 of those 10 seasons. Funny enough though, he does already have a ring. How many wide receivers have played a decade, never had a season over 900 yards, and still have 2 Super Bowl rings? Well, Agholor might when it's all said and done. For the Buffalo Bills, I'm nominating Mac Hollins, who actually also already has a ring, the same ring that Nelson Agholor has. Eagles fans may remember that Mac Hollins was drafted in 2017, but only recorded 1 reception for 9 yards during that Super Bowl run. After his rookie year, he was placed on injured reserve and didn't really re-emerge until 4 years later with the Las Vegas Raiders. Now he finds himself on a team where he's already scored a career-high 5 TDs and has a great shot to grab a second ring. For the Washington Commanders, we have Jaden Daniels. Daniels would become the first rookie QB to win a Super Bowl. 5 rookies have made their conference championship, most recently Brock Purdy in 2022. I'd also like to give Bobby Wagner an honorable mention here. The Commanders will face Tampa Bay in the first round of the playoffs, and for Tampa Bay, I have to go with Baker Mayfield. Anyone who endures a 4-year tenure with the Cleveland Browns and lives to tell about it deserves recognition. From Cleveland to Carolina to the Rams, and now coming off back-to-back 4,000-yard seasons with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A true hero's journey this would be if he can hoist the Lombardi Trophy. For the Denver Broncos, I'm picking the whole team. The whole shebang! All 53 of them! I simply cannot pick a player for the Denver Broncos. Battling a tough schedule and a respectable division where 3 of the 4 teams made the playoffs, a rookie QB, and very few offensive weapons, they've already accomplished a ton. But let's be honest, a Super Bowl's not happening. And if it did, it would be too wild to settle on just 1 player. I said 3 out of the 4 teams in the AFC West made the playoffs, right? Well, no one's surprised that the Las Vegas Raiders are the team that got left out. Letting your top 2 offensive talents walk is not generally a recipe for success, so a ring for Josh Jacobs of the Green Bay Packers, who, until this season, spent 5 years on the Cleveland Browns 2.0, would be pretty sweet. As hard as it was to pick a single player for the Denver Broncos, it's just as hard to pick one for the Kansas City Chiefs, for the exact opposite reason. Hollywood Brown would be a decent option, but I think DeAndre Hopkins would be crazier given the circumstances. 12 years at the wide receiver position is no small task in the NFL. And in those 12 years, he's only ever won 2 playoff games. After starting the year with 0 hopes in Tennessee, a trade in Week 7 lands him with one of the best opportunities of anyone on this list. Hopkins was not the only player to be traded to a contender this year. Deontay Johnson's odds at the start of the season to win a Super Bowl were next to nothing. They increased drastically for the month of November when he played for the Baltimore Ravens, then fell to a 0% chance after he was released by the team, and now his odds sit, well, also pretty unlikely. Deontay Johnson recently signed with the Houston Texans. If he were to win a ring and beat the team that cut him along the way, It would be pretty crazy. While we're talking players who are ending the season on a new team, look no further than Minnesota Vikings' Daniel Jones. After Daniel Jones was cut by the Giants in late November, many figured he would stay in the division and sign with the Cowboys. The Cowboys being active on the waiver wire, Jerry Jones making a move. Give me a break. Daniel Jones initially was signed to the practice squad, but just was elevated to the 53-man roster ahead of the playoffs. A ring for Daniel Jones isn't out of the question and would certainly be a giant achievement.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
The last player on this list knows a thing or two about playing for the Giants. For the Eagles, we have Saquon Barkley. And if it weren't for overly cautious head coaches, we'd potentially have a new NFL record. Barkley finished just 100 yards short of the single-season rushing record after he was sat in Week 18. This puts him at 8th all-time for a single season at 2,005 yards, which might be a good omen, because in 2005, the Eagles actually played in a Super Bowl. They just happened to run into a dynasty. Let me know in the comments who you think is getting a ring, and also thumb rings up this video. Like if I should have put a ring on my, let me, all right, get off there. Come on. Make sure you thumbs up this video. Make sure you like this video. Please put a ring on it and thumbs up this video. I love you. Enjoy the NFL playoffs.